Seeing the windmill really made me miss my mom.
This is nasty.
My advice would be we'd take the work around all of it.
Welcome to another episode of
The Epic Family Road Trip.
I fell in love with it when I saw that windmill. And then the old building, I can't wait to see it in the morning.
It'll do nicely.
In last week's video, after a long day on the trail, we set up camp at the Tule Well and enjoyed a wonderful evening together with our friends, Matt and Kara from Ozark Overland Adventures.
Wow, this looks good.
I thought it was the chair, but apparently it was the ground.
Yeah. Definitely sunk in, but I think you sat.
What an impressive spot that Kara found us last night. And it's just full of beauty and really makes you stop and think about this trail that we're on and all the people over the years who have traveled it and the harshness basically of it. There's a little bit of a moon this morning. The sunrise, again, Arizona never fails to show off its sunrise. Always lights up the sky and gives so many colors on the rocks. But yeah, seeing the windmill really made me miss my mom. But she always loved Texas out west, bluebonnets and windmills, you know, old structures, barns, and just wildflowers. But Kara wrote me this morning and said that the windmill blades were like your mom waving to you. Anyways, it's really meant a lot to be here, you know, with them on this trail. And you know, it is, you know, called the Trail of Death, basically, from so many people over the years, you know, in their lives. And they're coming to the end of their life here, searching for water or just the harshness of this area. And you know, it just kind of really hit me doing this. It is the most incredible trail that I've been on, and I really have fallen in love with it. And it really makes you feel like you're out there. But like in the beginning, we're like, man, we really feel alone out here, but you don't. The more you look around, and I don't know, it just has such a feeling of life. And all the plants and the flowers ready to burst. I guess it's seasons. We're in the in-between season here. And I know like within 2 weeks, it'll be just busting with color. And it's just like our lives. You know, we have seasons and chapters. But to be able to come out here and see it in this rawness is really amazing. And I don't know, it just makes you stop and think about your time here on Earth and how fast it goes, and to really enjoy it with your family and friends. And I'm so thankful to be here exploring, soaking in the Arizona Trail. So America is beautiful. I just love it. Did you sleep good?
Decent.
Your hair looks nice.
Good morning. We are back on the El Camino Diablo and heading east. We've got about 60 miles to go today. That camp spot was amazing last night. Really quiet, really peaceful, and so it was on the site of an old a water well. So there's a windmill there to draw water from the well. So that's nice in the desert. And then there's an old building from way back when, and they had an American flag and a bit of a cenotaph or something like that built up on the hill with blocks that have been added to it over the years, going as far back as 1939. So it's a pretty neat spot to camp overnight. But today we are heading into those mountains and working our way to the end of the trail. All right, we're going through a section now that is just smooth, soft sand, and it's like floating on a beach. It's just my favorite part for driving, at least. And surrounded in large saguaro cacti and cholla, all kinds of different plant life. It's a really beautiful section. No. Oh yeah, beautiful. There's a hawk on top of a saguaro. Beautiful.
Oh.
It's just sitting there right now. There's the photo page.
So it was neat to see the hawk right there on top there. So it's cool in here.
We just pulled over for a minute to get a couple of snapshots of the vehicles all together in this deep wash, and now we're back on the road, or on the trail.
I think Kara had a lot of fun taking photos.
Yeah, Kara is also, like Pete, uses a film camera, and whoops, sorry. And so she went up on the edge and lined us all up and got some neat shots. Hopefully we can get our hands on a digital copy of that and show you on this video. If not, follow them on Instagram. I'm sure she's going to be posting these pics at some point.
I don't have any snacks for him though. I don't think they have any more meat sticks, that's the thing.
Hungry?
Snacks or anything?
You can ask him how far, but we're gonna make lunch at the lava flow.
So he found a container of peanuts, almonds, and pistachios. That'll get him going, and then lunch, we're gonna stop at a lava field up here and make lunch. So the young man gets hungry working that hard. Let's fill you up for now. We'll see you there.
The map shows a long section of soft sand ahead. And after all the rocks and washouts we've been going through, it's time to step on the gas and have some fun.
We are right at the bottom of the U.S. in Arizona, and Mexico is right there, a stone's throw. We're driving along the fence, and we had been driving along it for some time, didn't even realize it was there. It blends in quite well, and it's see-through, so the way they've got it designed, at least from this angle, you can see the mountains behind it and everything. So I'm not sure if this trail goes right up to it, but if we do, we'll definitely get out and check it out. But this is as far south as you can get, and it's the northernmost point of Mexico. It's kind of neat to be here. Now we're just coming in, you can see the rocks have changed. We're just coming into a lava flow area. This area has very sharp lava, so we've got Lando in the Jeep, and we're gonna crawl through this stuff. This is definitely the rockiest section of the trip. I think hopefully it's only this short section, because I'm just taking my time. These lava rocks are very sharp, and I don't want to obviously do any damage to the tires if I can help it. But we're almost to the top.
It's been lava for a while, so it may be a little rough for you, Dan.
How was it coming up that hill? Bumpy?
Yeah, it would have been easier, but I stopped at the bottom and then went, so I didn't have much
You lost
speed.
momentum.
It's on an angle like that, so if you look at it from a certain angle, it's across. But
Okay.
where we were driving, I was like, oh my word, I can see
But
everything
how do
behind.
people get through that?
They don't, there's gaps,
Okay.
so nothing happens here.
So I'm making something super light and fast. Nothing says fast like a burrito. And we're getting that going so we get food in everyone's tummies. My hands are actually shaking because I'm that hungry.
As you may know, I spent 2 months last year in Africa as a camera operator with Overland, filming the new 10-part Africa series. After lunch, I decided to play it for Kara and Matt, who are watching it for the first time.
There's something that you need to grasp here. What do you hear? What do you see? What is out there is hundreds of miles of nothing. This is probably one of the most remote places you can be on the planet. For me, just looking at it, it's how vast it is.
That drone shot is epic.
It's amazing.
3 hours in of just this.
Unfortunately, we have no good news.
Alright. I'm feeling like this is the adventure that I signed up for. You know? That's a great feeling. I love that feeling. And you gotta travel to get it, you know? You gotta go put the work in.
Join us for the world premiere February 29th and binge watch the first 4 episodes exclusively on the Overland Network.
Wow.
That's powerful.
That's awesome. I feel like we could have gotten similar drone shots here.
Yeah.
If we're allowed to.
I know.
You're that one elephant we saw. We couldn't get it. My God, that's like mind blowing.
Wow, that awesome.
That makes you, when you were like sitting there, should we go full time or should we go do that really big trip? And then you just go, heck yeah.
Well, it's like let's go, but then it's also like kind of emotional. Like you see all that, you're just like, wow, that's out there.
I know.
Like I want to experience all of it. Yeah. Let's go.
Well done, Clay.
Good job. Good job.
You guys are the best.
Heck yeah.
After a delicious lunch and with a good dose of inspiration, we head back onto the trail.
So after lunch we carried on, and the road is actually still on lava, as you can probably see behind me. So it's very sharp and rough rocks. Back in the day, this would have been tough going if you were with any kind of a wagon or even walking. And this is a slightly cleared and well-worn trail. You step off of it and it's just almost impassable. Really crazy area, and I think this is where it got the name the Devil's Road. Because those people must have been cursing the place trying to get through here. And even with a vehicle, you got to take your time. But Dan has been riding this whole trail, as you know, for the last couple of days, and he's doing amazing. And it's been it's a real challenge for motorcycles, or if you want to test your skills or develop your skills, this is a great one to do it, because you saw last night those incredibly long areas of deep sand. And then today going up these steep hills with sharp lava rock, and it's just been a massive variety. So pretty proud of the young guy. He's you know, from when they got their bikes a couple years ago and till now, it's just a world of difference in their skills, their riding skills, both him and Pete. Pete's in the Jeep, as you know, and he's having a blast. He loves that thing. I don't know if we told you, but you remember when Dan had that accident a couple of months ago. We still haven't had a chance to get the front axle fixed. We have an axle for it, and now we've found a shop, a friend of Brad's in California. So next time we get over that way, we're going to bring it into the shop and get the four-wheel drive repaired. But Pete's just doing it in two-wheel drive, so a high clearance two-wheel drive vehicle. So far, we're not to the end, but so far, if you know how to drive and you understand momentum and all that, you can do it in two.
A couple miles ahead, it gets really muddy. I guess we get into the lowlands, and then yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard. Even riding on here, I was just driving around and sliding all over the place. But there's a few like go-arounds if you want, but some of them are worse. Like they're really deep ruts and stuff.
Okay.
But that's a couple miles ahead, so.
All right.
So it looks like a muddy section here, but there's a workaround that we're going to try. Not that we're afraid of a bit of mud, but this stuff is really slick. And with two-wheel drive and whatnot, might make sense to just use the workaround. We're gonna see what Dan has to say. He's been up, scouted ahead for us and come back. Pretty slick. That's a long section. Are you actually going through? I don't know. The way it felt back there, it was very sticky stuff. It's very sticky though. Like it was grabbing me back there, Pete.
Yeah.
And my advice would be we'd take the workaround, all of us.
That water in the mud, you could just go sink.
This is nasty.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not only I could make it through here, not back there. And even here would be different. Yeah, but it'd be fun.
I don't want to clean up my Jeep after this, so.
Yeah, I wonder the truck.
Ugh.
I bet the truck could make it, but
Nah,
it'd be
I
covered
don't.
in mud. The thing is, like, I could
wouldn't be
make
worth
it,
it.
but there's no reason to go out of my way to do it besides just fun.
I don't know. If you get stuck, then it's not fun.
Can't grab any bushes to help yourself up in here.
Need some waterproof boots, I'm not.
Alright. Quite the muddy trail. If you don't have to go through something crazy muddy like this, when this dries out, if those ruts stay, they'll be there pretty much permanently or until the next rain comes and washes them away. You're gonna have these big deep tire tracks, and we've come across that on the Arizona BDR at parts of it where it had obviously been an awesome time during the mud, but it had long since dried out, and we had like 3 foot deep to 4 foot deep ruts in places, and it makes it almost impossible to drive on after that. Yeah, I think it's smarter that both Dan or us don't go this route.
Lando, what are you doing? We said we're not going that route. Come on, little guy. Dan went scouting ahead, and I don't know what he's gonna have to say about it.
Well, we can skirt along it for a while,
Yeah.
and then there's one little section kind of as it ends that if we want to do some mud, we can hit.
Okay. Sounds good.
Kara said it looked like something was in Lando's paw, and I was just gonna check before we headed out, but then this crow or raven came flying around, and Lando has a thing, I think because they're just solid black, he can see them easily in the sky, and he chases after him for as far as they can go. But that thing, the raven was just playing with him. He was going really low, laying on a branch. Lando would run up, chase it, and then it'd take off again all low. It could have flown up 100 feet in the air, but it was staying right out of Lando's reach, like they were having fun. Come. He's fine. He might have had a stick or is just full of mud and been kicking it. Lynn, come.
That workaround was around standing water for almost, well, at least half a mile, maybe longer, and you just have to pick your way through the lake bed. I guess there's times where there is you know, so much water it fills this whole area and it actually becomes a lake. So we made the right call going around it, and even then we hit muddy spots and had to, you know, kind of forge our own path. But now we're back on this back in the wash that we've been on for the last at least 10 miles, and it seems a little higher elevation and a little drier up here. a lot drier. A lot of people lost their lives on this trail over the years because of just exposure and dehydration. And what happened, even though the trail's been here for generations, because of things like what we just saw there, this section especially, this is where most of the people lost their lives. It shifts so much. So the trail, you know, if they get a storm or rain or wind or a mix of both, the trail can be completely obliterated. I think nowadays, because of motorized vehicles, it's a lot deeper ingrained than it was back then, but people were left wandering the desert, and that's why they perished. They would get off track, and these points were from water to water to water. That's why this trail goes where it does. And they'd get lost. They just wouldn't find it because the wind had blown out the tracks from the people that went before them. Thankful we're in a motorized vehicle. We can cover this ground so easily, but those are tough people back then. There's a grave out here we're just gonna go take a look at, of one of the early miners that used to take this route. Yeah, his name is Dave ONeal. So they actually named the mountains in this area after him.
These are not fired.
This is not a full. That's just the
that's
bullet.
Just the bullet.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. What is that? 50 cal? No, it's not big enough for a 50 cal.
I have no idea.
9mm.
Looks like it. Could be a 50 cal.
All these coins.
This is a 45 or something.
Yeah, it's 45.
It's a neat truck. Doesn't look like it's functional.
It's probably because of the wall that went up now.
Maybe. I think this station, you know, is in operation. There's nobody there. There was one vehicle, a big old truck, that wasn't functional. But I think it's more of an electronic station now with a tower. But the border fence is pretty prominent along this section. The gravesite of that fella, Dave ONeal, is where he passed away, and this is where he was headed to. He never made it, but apparently his mule made it here. That's where they found his mule. But water out here has been marked for generations. Today there's a tank and a windmill, just like where we camped last night. We just stopped at the well here, and as soon as I stepped out, this guy was staring at me. It's a broken up piece of ID from a foreigner. I don't know. It is a reminder of where we are. We're right along a border that's been kind of used and abused over the years and not fully respected for its sovereignty. And this is a bit of a reminder.
Let's get you some water, little guy.
Oh, there's more on that side. So that one with the multiple. Okay, so from that well, we're heading towards AO. I think it's AJO. I think it's pronounced AO. It's a tiny little town where people fuel up, and often everyone we talked to actually started at AO and went west, because we were meeting with our friends on the west side in Yuma. We went east, but it works either way. So this road is partially graded from time to time and a little more well traveled, so it feels it's easy driving right now. A few little washouts we have to stop, but anyway, a report on how the truck has done so far on the El Camino Diablo, or the Devil's Road. It's done incredibly well. We just met a guy, a couple of Jeeps back there, and we were having lunch, and they pulled up, and the guy said he saw the truck, and he said, "You're going back to AO, are you?" And I said, "Yeah, we're headed that way." And he said, "Oh, good, because you would never make it through the trail to Yuma." And I said, "Well, that we just came from there. We started in Yuma 2 days ago." And he was like, "What? Unbelievable, way to go." So he's pretty impressed with the fact that the truck, with our house on the back, with all of our belongings and our comfortable bed and kitchen and you name it, successfully made it through from Yuma across the trail. So here's a section with water. We're just gonna do the workaround. get back on the road. But yeah, that's my truck report for today. I think we have about 30 miles left. We're not going to actually go to town today. We're going to find a camp spot somewhere this side of town and spend the night, and then tomorrow we'll fuel up. I have just over half a tank of diesel, and the Jeeps I think are reporting just under half a tank. I think Pete just refueled from his auxiliary but didn't use the full tank, so we're all in good shape. We'll make it out. Nobody's running out on the trail today. So we're getting close to the end of the National Wildlife Refuge area, and I think the purple section is BLM land. We're gonna find a camp spot somewhere in the BLM, but maybe we could put up the drone at that point. Probably the saying of the last 3 days has been, that's been said the most is, man, it would be nice to be able to put a drone up here. And this whole area, of course, military base, there's no drone flying there, and then in the wildlife refuge, there's no drones allowed. So we've been filming it from the ground, but typically we'd get some beautiful drone shots. But I think you'll get the idea from what we've shot, what an amazing place this is. But I think we might be able to get a drone up in BLM land, so we'll see what's ahead.
It's a fee area, but we don't know where the fee station is.
There's a fee box right there at the other signs.
Oh.
Snack time.
Yeah. Bag of tuna. Super yummy.
Is it yummy, or are you handing to me because it's gross? We'll find out.
That's good. He was just eating it.
Snacky snack.
Salty. I needed some salt.
Pretty fishy.
Salty.
No, it's in water.
Straight from the ocean.
Yep.
It's not aluminum or anything, light. Oh no, that's not light.
Now your back's thrown out.
We're thinking that these are to build roads through the rough areas, and probably during the wet season. We saw a section of water back there which was absolutely impassable, so if they have to get in there, they could lay these down.
Yeah,
I
to get you some traction.
You could probably even just do the 2 tire tracks, you know, all the way in.
Kind of like max tracks, just kind of make your own way.
Endless max track. So we're now at the edge of the wildlife reserve we were in, but we're going into a very small corner of what they call Organ Pipe Reserve. It's another cool area, but there's a lot of warning signs saying there's illegal activity happens in this area, a lot of smuggling and drug cartel activity, so not a place we want to camp. So we're just going to move on through and get farther away from this whole area.
The beautiful Organ Pipe Cactus Wildlife Reserve is now behind us as we head towards our last camp on the El Camino del Diablo. The sun is beginning its descent in the west as we take in all of the natural beauty that surrounds us. Road conditions are good, so we pick up the pace so we can get back to our campsite before dark.
unbelievable. Couldn't have asked for anything more, especially for our last night together. This is quite a painting.
We're 10 minutes drive from the end of the El Camino Diablo, and what an ending to this whole thing. I mean, we're surrounded by the mountains, the cacti, and the most gorgeous sunset. Arizona's been spectacular from beginning to end, and we're looking forward to a good night here at the end of the Devil's Road. Dude, I love the ride look.
Huh?
Your nose is black.
Ow,
You did,
my ears.
Dan.
You look like you completed it, bro.
That was fun.
So proud of you.
That's a bit of an accomplishment. You went through some crazy terrain. Can't wait to see the footage.
I know. Hopefully
Mud,
it all worked out.
water, deep sand,
The
lava.
The volcano part was the hardest.
That must have been.
So rough for the tires. It was like sandpaper, all the rocks.
wow.
Didn't say
My
that.
little baby's not a baby anymore. Thank goodness. Look at this.
And in the meantime,
We'll see you down the road.
I forgot that one. Stay tuned for next week as Mom makes another simple meal. We recap our favorite moments from the trail, and we prepare to embark on our next epic overland adventure.
What tastes better, the MRE or Mom's?
Moms.
The name of it kind of scared me a little bit. And I was like, and then when we heard you guys were coming, I'm like, yes! Now we have someone to go do it with.
Like the cameraman's eye, looking at that from behind, like in the Jeep, seeing your rig in front and Dan, it just looked completely picturesque.
I think this is the trail that felt the most remote, that trail I've ever done. Like it just really felt like if something happened out here, you may be on your own.